Hi friends, I just wanted to film a video gushing over my favorite terracotta blush shades. There's nothing to it, nothing deep about it, okay? Went through my collection, picked out my blushes that fit this color category, because from all the blush shades that I've applied the last few years, I zero in on this category specifically because it's the one that makes me the most excited. I feel it's the one that best benefits my complexion, just makes it look its tip-topness, okay? And if it's your first time here, hi, I'm Alicia, an online coach who specializes in flexibility and body weight strength. I love to teach movement, I love to teach makeup, and also talk about terracotta blushes. Now, when I say terracotta, that's what I think, but before turning on record, I was supposed to have confirmed what terracotta really is color-wise. Baked earth, literally cooked earth, from the Latin terracotta, in its material sense as an earthenware substrate. So yes, clay, reddish type of a hue. The ones I've encountered recently just blew my mind, and I find the color I gravitate towards the most. Now, I thought about this, and I think it's because this shade can double, in my opinion, as a bronzer and as a blush. From all the different blush shades I think we are familiar with, the pinks, whether bubble pink or deep pink, magenta pink, the corals, the wines, the berries, the tans, those shades I love. Most definitely, I love me a coral flushed pink, as I think that best emulates what a natural flush will look on me without makeup. But there's something about that burnt clay, earthy type of hue from a blush that I just want to put on every day. I feel I can just rely on that one makeup product. Now, I do have some complexion stuff on. In fact, I have the Auric and the Say LYS and Say concealers on. If you want to find out how I achieved this, I will link that video up in the card and in a link down below. If I wanted to go ultra simple, even out my skin tone, pop on a blush that not only will give that bronze look, but a blush look, but sunburn-ish. That is my jam. That is my vibe. I love it to death. And especially now with the summer season, this is all that's what I just want to wear all the time. So I have them gathered here today in front of me, talking about the different brands, the textures, the finishes. Yeah, we're going to get into some demos. We're going to apply all the terracotta types of blushes. And that means it's time for you to get in a little closer. That's enough. This is more of like an intermediate zoom in, because, you know, I just to give you a little space to see. I'm just going to start with my favorite. And you might know what it is, but it has to be Pat McGrath's. You knew it. Divine Blush in Paradise freaking Venus. Paradise Venus, when I applied this for the first time, when I saw this, one of the most unique colors I've ever encountered. Now, you might disagree with that. I understand that I have not applied all the blushes in the makeup industry, but this just delivers. Like, you can see, this is like that clay type of a hue, right? That burnt, earthen, ooh, just look at it. So perfect. I like to apply this on the hollows of my cheeks and then blend it on the apples. And we're definitely going in with this firsthand because, listen, this is why we're here. Using my Sonaji Smohinoki brush, pulling it here to the hollows, whipping it down around the apples of the cheek. This is what I'm saying. I love how it gives structure, blushness, just bronzy, huey, earth tinted skin. Is fantastic. And I can go in with a lighter colored blush, like more maybe of a pink tone, a coral tone, to create a lovely gradient. That's something you can do as well. But this by itself, I'm done. You see what I'm saying? You see why I'm so enthusiastic? This is why. Now, I would like to juxtapose Paradise Venus with the Linda Hallberg Infinity Glam palette. This palette houses several shades, specifically Zenith. Zenith is, compared to Paradise Venus, let's see here, before I share my comments, yes, is a little more muted, a little more saturated, and I forgot one shade category when speaking about different blush shades. Rose. I do love rose. I prefer rose over pink if I had to choose. I still love terracotta the most, but when pairing rose and terracotta together, there's just a sophistication and elegance to that tone that I don't think can be surpassed, especially with my complexion and my undertone. I prefer rose over like a bubblegum pink or even a magenta pink. Oh my gosh, let me put this light on to imbue that beautiful flushed look. But Zenith is a color I like to rely on for the same benefits I get from Paradise Venus, just to get that sculpted look while at the same time achieving the blush look as well. And I feel, although this is more desaturated than Paradise Venus, Paradise Venus has a little more red. Zenith, I think, would you identify this as a little more brown? What do you think, fam? It's incredible regardless. I use this as like a sculpting shade, as you see. So I place these types of shades higher on my cheekbones to create that shape and structure without having to use a bronzer per se. And I think you just kill two with one, right? You get the structure, you get that bronze, but the hue, that nice earth clay type of a tone, when pulling it down over the apples of your cheeks, you're done. You see, it's there. Now let's say if I wanted to create that gradient, I'll go in with Day. Day is more of a peach, but a very warm peach. Yes, I definitely love me a peach. Unfortunately, I would not be able to get away with that color higher on the hollows. I will have to rely on something like Zenith or Paradise Venus, but combine, I'm alive, I'm done, I can get out the door, people will think I got amazing sleep, you know, it's all lies. No, that's not true, I do get nice sleep, but life happens, and when we have to show face and present ourselves as together, I think blush is one of the best ways to get that done, you know what I'm saying? Definitely one of my most favorite shades from Infinity Glam. I love all the shades, but this is the combination that's my go-to when I open this palette. The next blush product, this is from Phytosurgence, their Skin Spark Blush Bombs. This was gifted to me. Thank you again to the team in freaking Inferno. This I love. Definitely within the same category as Zenith and Paradise Venus, because we are now in the realm of a moussey creamy type of a texture, preferable to those who rather use a cream blush. When comparing, yes, cream products do have a more natural finish because they just blend better than powders do. Would argue that the Divine Blush formula is so lightweight and silky that I feel virtually undetectable when you buff it into your skin. And I would say the same for the LH Cosmetics powder too, but I know there's something just so exquisite about cream blush, the way it fuses with your skin and leaves behind more of a radiant finish rather than a blush. If it's powder, it's going to have more of a soft matte finish depending on the primer you use, your skin type. But Inferno, this is just, my goodness, nothing better. Ain't nothing better. I'll post that song down below if you're like trying to figure out what I'm talking about. Beautifully easy to apply. Look at that. So this is what I'm talking about. I love this burnt look without actually relying on the sun. We don't want actual burnt skin, okay? Please don't do that. But to achieve that with makeup and it be like that perfect tone of burnt, but not super bronzy, because I love bronze, but when it's on the apples of my cheeks, I need the hue to shift a little bit. This clay, earthen, terracotta type of a tone, outrageous. In addition to Singe, now I know Singe, where are you, Singe? I'm looking for you. Now, although Singe is more of a pink, this is great when I wear it solo. If I'm just going complexion and blush, I love it. Definitely. There's something about Inferno though, I can't put my finger on it. It's just so beautiful. I love it to death. And again, you can see the difference. Powder on this side, the creamy moussey texture from Phytosurgence on this side. Really nice, yeah, especially if you don't like to apply traditionally formulated highlighters with pearl or anything too shiny. The lay down has a natural radiance to it, I think will lend itself to that highlighted look if you don't like to use traditional highlighters. Next up, the Melt Cream Blushlights. You guessed it, in Sandy Cheeks. Sandy Cheeks is just, ooh, this is more peach, but it's a burnt peach. It's the undertone that gets me, man. I love it. It's more muted. So compared to Day from LH Cosmetics, I would consider this a more traditional peach. Sandy Cheeks has a little, do you see what I'm talking about? I know I'm not describing it well, but I hope you can recognize that from the swatches. I'll apply it on this side. Now, compared to the Phytosurgence, Phytosurgence has more of a moussey texture, more pigmented than the Melt Cream Blushlights. Cream Blushlights a lot softer in terms of the finish and the color payoff. But this is what I'm saying. It doesn't look overly peach. It just looks summertime. You know what I'm saying? It's incredible. I love this color. I adore the formula. Not only do they have matte finishes, but they have pearl finishes that you can apply on the higher points of the apples of the cheeks or higher on the cheekbones, but there's color to it. So it's not just a highlight like just champagne or rose gold. You still have that hue, whether it's a coral or like a bronze. It's absolutely perfect. But Sandy Cheeks by far out of the entire collection, because I did buy the box set when this released sometime last year, my favorite color out of the entire thing. Sandy Cheeks all freaking day. And again, there's just like that beautiful radiance left behind that sure I can powder down, but I like to leave on its own because it just has that beautiful look to the cheeks. And compared to Inferno, Inferno is definitely giving a little more, I think, terracotta burnt look. You know what I mean? This is like more of a bronzed rose type of a shade. Sandy Cheeks is more of like a burnt peach. The next shade I wanted to present is Lisa Eldridge's Enlivening Blush in Dante's Dream. Now, this unfortunately not as easy to deal with as the previous textures I just showed. Actually, this presses out pretty well, I have to say, compared to the others. Dante's Dream is just heavenly. This actually reminds me of Zenith from Linda's palette, but Dante's Dream has a really nice tone to it. It's absolutely amazing. I know I have a lot going on these cheeks, but we're gonna figure it out. I'll lightly tap here at the juncture between Zenith and Sandy Cheeks, just so you can have an idea. Ooh, you see? It's not red. It's more like, it's not red per se because there is Venetian red that exists in the Enlivening blush collection. Lisa describes this to be a tawny rosewood, there goes the rose again, that imparts skin with a subtle brownie pink blush. It's, yeah, I definitely think this is more rose than terracotta, definitely. Rose and terracotta, like I had said in the beginning, I gravitate rose quite often because I think it's just so beautifully elegant. There's something old worldly about it. It has a hardiness that I feel looks beautiful across several skin tones depending on the depth. It's just, oh, magnificent. So I definitely have to use Dante's Dream a lot more because, again, rosewood, I know this is the terracotta video, but the rosewood and the terracotta together. Okay, this is what I'm saying. And lastly, Love from Rare Beauty. This is from their Soft Pinch Liquid Blush line. And heading to Sephora to confirm, Love is a matte terracotta. Amazing shade, and I'm so happy I bought it because look at that. Definitely more red out of the ones that I had previously swatched. And let me just see what happens. Tappity tap, here we go. When punching that in, again, because of the hue, I would use this for both sculpting as well as blushing, carrying it up toward the temple lightly, you know, and then through the hollows and over the apples of the cheeks. I already have a lot of makeup on. That's why this looks intense. Now, in a real life situation, maybe you apply too much. Maybe this is happening to you right now and you're like, what do I do? Take the brush you used to apply your complexion products and pounce around the edges, not necessarily on top. You want to take away the product on the perimeters first, and then you'll lightly tap over the region that has too much color. And in that way, you have a little more control over the final look, the final blend. And if you think you need more, then you apply more, right? It's easier to apply more than to take away. Despite the technique, yes, I just showed you, you most certainly can take away. It's still easier to add. Just to even out things a bit, I'll apply sandy cheeks to this side to adjust the color a little bit, yeah, because there we go. I'm gonna put a little more on this side. Oh, I love sandy cheeks so much, I just can't help myself. Also, we'll apply Phytosurgence Spectral Shine. This is a great product in that it's the highlight of the brand, but it doesn't look shiny. It's more luminous and radiant in finish. So this is fantastic for more oily skin types that like highlight, but they can't use a lot of product because it's just too shiny on them, or just too emollient. This is a dry cream that will take away some of that excess oil at the same time, kind of buff the skin down, but you see what's left behind. It's just gorgeous. And of course, to complete the look, let's just say real life scenario again, I can apply any of these products to the eyes. I typically love to use Paradise Venus through my crease and lid just as a quick one and done moment to pull the complexion together and to not have my eyes appear too bare, you know what I mean? And depending on how blown out you prefer to wear your eyeshadow will determine what brush you use, how far you take it towards the brow. When it comes to these types of shades, when I want to just appear summery, terracotta, sunburnt all over, I take the color pretty high and out from my lash line. That's something I personally like to do, and take a little more here on the actual lid, whisking it through. It doesn't have to be a completely perfect blend, but this is my jam, fam. If you wanted, you can take a shimmery type of a powder. You could take Melt Monarca palette. They have these more peachy, shimmery shades that with a smaller brush for some inner corner action, you know, not necessary. You can totally skip the inner corner highlight step, but to have that contrast next to the hardier terracotta shade that you whipped on the lid and crease, I think it's just a nice touch. And let's just do the whole shebang, okay? We're gonna curl these lashes and apply some mascara. Without a doubt, Clio Professional Kill Lash. All day, every day. On the lips, gloss is fine, but I'm applying a little bit of Inferno here, you know, just to make sure everything is doing what it needs to do. And that is it. My favorite terracotta / rosewood shades of blushes. I've been using these types of shades more than not recently, and I think again they double greatly as bronzing types of products that offer sculpt and structure without it actually taking on that brown hue, but again taking on that more clay earthen type of a hue just beautifully embodies that sunburnt look that I love so much. And I understand people have their preferences and their favorites when it comes to blush, but this is what I love to do every day. And to not be super elaborate with the eyes, a light dose of mascara, running your favorite blush shade through your eyes if you wanted to have an eye product for that day. It's just one of my favorite go-to makeup steps to follow. And these shades specifically, the ones that I presented in this video, I've been using heavily, whether solo or together, mixing and matching. I'm heavy in this vibe right now, and I just had to share. If I had to pick the ultimate favorite out of the ones I presented, yes, I'm biased. I love Pat Mcgrath. She sends me PR. I also purchase a lot of her makeup. Paradise Venus is the gold standard in terms of the shade, the undertone. it definitely inspires my creativity in fully committing to this color story from cheeks, eyes to lips. That's why I love Mel Cosmetics 27 palette. I think that palette beautifully embodies the shades that I just showed in this video. Even Gemini 2, to an extent, I think the reason why I love that palette so much is because even though they're rose tones, I love the rose, as I said a million times in this video, they're more desaturated and don't look as red when applied on my skin, and that's why I think I'm happy with Gemini 2. Fine, the Patrick Ta palette looks amazing, the number 2 palette with the rose tones, but I think those tones pull more red, whereas the Gemini 2 ones are more muted, and that's what I love about that palette. So let me know what your favorite blush shades are if you're a Terracotta fan like me. If not, what are your favorite blush tones? The pinks, the corals, the peaches, the wines, the berries, the roses, the mauves. I forgot the mauve. Excuse me, I'm sorry, please forgive me. All that good stuff, fam. I'll see you down in the comments, and until then, that is a wrap. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope this video helped, and if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up or maybe consider subscribing to my channel. And until then, I will see you on here again with another review tutorial, blush extravaganza, or monthly faves. Take care, and I will see you again soon.